I will pick the Lakers to beat anyone in the 7-game series. However, let's not dismiss what everybody else has accomplished and the superstars that's in the lower half of the Western Conference playoffs.
And we will not dismiss your love for Detroit. Please enjoy the game. We'll see you at halftime. Mike, Mark, and Jeff on the call.
All right, Maria, beautiful borough of Brooklyn in New York City, where the team with the best record in the East resides, the Brooklyn Nets, who tonight host the LA Lakers. And it's so good to see the former MVP and two-time champion back on the court. Second game for Kevin Durant after missing 23 consecutive games with that hamstring injury. Meanwhile, as you just heard Woj talk, Anthony Davis not ready. Still might be 10 days to 2 weeks. Maybe back soon, though. He's missed now 24 games with that calf injury. As we welcome you inside the Barclays Center, where the Nets have been 22-6 on this season here on their own floor. And good evening, everyone, along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen on hand, Rachel Nichols with us as well. This was supposed to be one of the marquee matchups when the schedule came out. You've got a bunch of future Hall of Famers and two teams that could potentially meet in the NBA Finals. Unfortunately, injuries are part of the NBA. Some of the notables obviously will not play tonight. But Mark, for Brooklyn, yes, they're without James Harden. He's still out with a hamstring injury, but they do have Kevin Durant back. They have Kyrie Irving, and those are two of the most explosive players the game has.
They are absolute game changers, and in the lineup along with Kevin Durant tonight is a game changer in Kyrie Irving. His ability to make plays and finish in spectacular form is as good as it gets, not only in the game today, but in the history of the game. Look at the way he shields off the contest, eliminates the contest of great defense. Does not matter. He does not see you in the picture. Again, gets to his spot, elevates with the opposite hand. I shot one left-hand shot in 17 years of playing. This guy does it on a daily, and he gets to dancing, and you can forget about it. Wins his battle night in and night out, possession after possession on his terms. Effective and efficient. 28 points per game, 51% from the field, 6th in the NBA, Mike. A special, special talent playing for Brooklyn.
Part of the #1 scoring team in the NBA. Jeff, meanwhile, for the Lakers again, no LeBron James, no Anthony Davis. They do have Andre Drummond back, the former All-Star center, who just, of course, recently signed by the Lakers. But a key for them is going to be Dennis Schroeder, not only now to get them through their stretch without their stars, but going forward and in the playoffs.
Well, there's no doubt Schroeder's got to go at Irving tonight like Irving's going to go at him. But it can't be just tonight. It's got to be throughout. Even when James and Davis get back, they need him to shoot the three-ball well, which he's done since LeBron went out. But they also need him to live in the paint and create shots in the half court and not just rely on Davis and James to do that. He is a very good talent. He's quick, and he's got to be consistent for them to win it all again.
Of course, for any team that wants to win it all, health is the #1 factor. And even though Kevin Durant feels good, he will be on a minutes restriction. Meanwhile, with more on that, we say hello for the first time tonight to Rachel Nichols. Hey, Rachel.
Thanks so much, Mike. You know, so much has happened with the Nets this season. It is easy to forget that Kevin Durant is still feeling his way through his first season back since that Achilles injury that kept him out for a year and a half. And when I sat down with him yesterday, he was more candid than we had ever heard him before, just talking about how much that whole experience messed with his mind. He told me that he would get anxious, that he would go down these rabbit holes trying to anticipate his return, wondering if he'd ever be the same player again. Well, guess what? Take a look at the stats here. He's chipping in nearly 30 points a game with the kind of shooting accuracy we've only otherwise seen before from Larry Bird, Steph Curry, and, well, yes, KD's old self back in 2013. In fact, Kevin told me that knowing how smoothly things turned out with the Achilles return kept him much more upbeat during his latest injury absence when he missed time with a strained hamstring. He said instead of worrying this time around, he could instead spend his mental energy picturing how he'd fit in with certain sets he saw the team running from his perch on the bench. It just made his return this past Wednesday so much easier, and he's hoping it's smooth sailing from here on. We will find out in just minutes. This presentation of NBA Saturday Primetime will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Top-notch player, I ain't never been better. Thanks to everyone who done it now, I gotta bet better. I knew I was the man before anyone told me. And the job ain't done till I hold that trophy.
destination is making it to that main stage.
It's early yet for the Nets, but already there are signs that point to the highest pedestal.
Just unstoppable.
They are taking the first steps towards building an empire. Like so many of their predecessors,
the Angels are smiling on us.
These Lakers have looked down from on high, and they like the view.
It's one of the greatest feelings in the world.
Be a preview of a title clash to come, where in the end, there can be only
one. Lakers and Nets in Brooklyn as we welcome you to NBA Saturday Primetime on ABC, presented by AT&T 5G. On a beautiful Saturday night in New York City, the borough of Brooklyn, the Barclays Center, home of the Nets. And both these teams have championship aspirations. Both have to get healthy first, but we've seen when healthy just how good they can be. As we take a look at our starting lineups, delivered by Taco Bell. And obviously changes for both teams with the starting five, including Talen Horton-Tucker in just his second start of the season. Schroeder and Caldwell Pope at the guards. Andre Drummond just his third game with the Lakers, and Marquise Morris rounding it out for Frank Vogel. And the LA Lakers in the midst of this 7-game East Coast swing. Meanwhile, for the Nets, Joe Harris, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, LaMarcus Aldridge playing his 5th game since signing with the Nets. And Jeff Green, who's been one of the unsung heroes for rookie head coach Steve Nash and the Brooklyn Nets. Hello once again, everyone, with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen on hand, Rachel Nichols with us as well, Kevin Durant. Thrilled to be playing basketball again, just second game back after missing those 23 consecutive. He had 17 points on a perfect shooting night. His rhythm was there. He only played 19 minutes, but he played well, and they had a blowout victory against the New Orleans Pelicans. But you can see the smile on his face just to be back on the court.